The flavor profile on this beer is immaculate. All right, friends of Treehouse, welcome back to the channel. As is so natural, Monday morning, Michael and I got together and we said, hey, let's sit down and do one of those things where we do a top 5 overview of what we're interested in right now. And naturally, we have 7 things to talk about. So let's not waste any time. I want to jump right into it. This is certainly not everything that we're excited about in this moment, but it is a small little snapshot. And we've got a little bit from the beer program, a little bit from the distillery, and a little bit from our coffee roastery. All right, always best to start with a little bit of caffeine. My judgment and my understanding, our cold brew team is doing some of the most interesting work that I'm aware of. For the beverage that we'd like to highlight today, we're talking about Mocha Chrome. Mocha Chrome is a rendition of Monochrome, which is our core cold brew blend, and this guy is conditioned on cacao nibs. Let me explain to you how it works. So we roast the coffee in-house. From there, we grind it to exacting specifications and we extract a cold brew concentrate. From there, in a conditioning vessel, we add freshly roasted Ecuadorian cacao nibs and we let it condition on that concentrate for 1 week. From there, we blend it with water to drinking strength. During packaging, we add nitrogen to this can. So this is a nitrogenized cold brew that has fresh Ecuadorian cacao nibs in it. It's super chocolatey, super vibrant and delicious. And if you give the can a very gentle shake, you're going to allow that nitrogen to dissolve into the liquid. And when you open it and pour it into a glass, it's going to look frothy and delicious. Look at that. Whoa, true cascade going on. And if you're patient and you wait, you're going to be left with a beautiful skim of froth and a rich and decadent cold brew that's infused with fresh Ecuadorian cocoa nibs. All right, so that leads us into another beverage from our non-alcoholic beverage program, which we call Bubble Hop. Bubble Hop is carbonated water, and for our product, we use agave syrup because for us, giving a little bit of sweetness to balance out the bitterness from the hops imparted in this beverage makes it super palatable and delicious. And one thing that we've found as we've created each new bubble hop with each successive batch is that adding a little bit of natural actual fruit puree, tiny amount that is similar to the flavor profile of the hop, both complements and accents that flavor profile beautifully. So this is Bubble Hop Eclipse. Eclipse is a new hop from our friends at Hop Product Australia. And alongside Eclipse, we have Tangerine. And that tangerine character just makes it taste like mild orange soda without too much sweetness and without too much of a calorie load. We drink these all day, every day in the brewery, to stay hydrated and to keep our palates happy when we're not drinking beer. So check it out, Bubble Hop with Eclipse. That concludes the non-alcoholic portion of our show. And I'm going to move right into the alcoholic stuff with a couple of wonderful items from our distillery. Right here we have our Lena Merita, which is kind of our take on a margarita, which I'll talk about in just a second. And then we have our Caddy Cooler. Our Caddy Cooler is a beautiful combination of lemonade and freshly brewed tea, and then our barley-based vodka. Really simple, based on the classic Arnold Palmer. Iced tea, lemonade, fresh barley vodka. It's so refreshing and so delicious, I can't even tell you. And one thing that we're really proud of is that the barley vodka that we mash, ferment, and distill, we utilize all locally grown barley from our friends at Valley Malt. And even more exciting for us is that we just crossed the threshold of having purchased 50 acres worth of grain in the last year alone, which we're super excited about. So drink something that's super delicious and refreshing while supporting local agriculture. So the Caddy Cooler is packaged flat on a little bit of nitrogen for freshness. So I'd encourage you not to shake up the can too much because you may not want that cascading effect, but if you do and you give the can a little bit of a shake, it's going to pour with a little bit of foam. And best of all, the Caddy Cooler is entirely gluten-free. All right, so moving on to Lena Merita. Lena Merita is our rendition of a classic margarita. It's named after our head distiller's wife. Hi Lena, how are you? Hope you're well. Very straightforward spirit, and most importantly, it contains what we call Casa de Arbol. Casa de Arbol is our agave-based spirit. Can't call it tequila because it's slightly different, but this is based from blue agave syrup, and it's essentially ultimately the same thing. And we're going to talk more about that a lot in the future, but just know that this is our agave-based spirit, and it tastes fantastic. Throw in a little bit of lime and a little bit of sweetness, and you have a summertime refresher that is to die for. Cherry on top, the Lena Merida is entirely gluten-free. We made one batch of this, 30 barrels of it, that sold out in the first week. And that second batch that we're into now is selling very, very quickly. So if you want this on the beach, the boat, or the deck for the summertime, act fast. Moving on to the beer portion of our entertainment today. I've selected 2 lagers that we're super, super proud of here at Treehouse, that quite frankly we drink a lot of, and then a beer that is near and dear to our hearts. So first up in that lineup is Pizzeria Pils. Pizzeria Pils is a dry hop German style Pils. It's hopped pretty aggressively with Saaz and Spalter Select hops, making it super, super beautiful and floral and earthy alongside that crisp and refreshing base. It's a beautiful, beautiful beer. Again, as heavily dry hopped as it is, usually it drops pretty bright. This particular batch is pretty fresh, even though it sat in the conditioning tank for several weeks. And holy cow, that is absolutely brilliant. Look at that, mamma mia. Woo! Man. Wow. Crisp, hoppy, fresh, vibrant, refreshing, delicious. Oh my goodness, this beer is wonderful. If you haven't had our pizza yet, check that out over in Deerfield. This is a wonderful thing that goes alongside it. One thing I'd like to mention about this is if you do have this over in Deerfield, bottles of this guy are 2 for 1 ticket. So if you're just in the mood to crush some beers and eat some pizza, you can actually have 6 of these in one visit to Treehouse in Deerfield. So keep that in mind. All right, so moving on to a beer that I will probably pronounce incorrectly, but I love dearly. It's Wycinanki. Wycinanki is a Polish-style lager that's made with smoked wheat malt and Lubelski hops that are grown in Poland. It's affectionately known as the Polish champagne. It's carbonated pretty highly. It's a pretty low alcohol beverage that you can crush, and it goes wonderful with Polish food. The artwork is based on our graphic designer Jackie's grandmother's artwork, which is the namesake of the beer. Wycinanki is essentially a paper cutout that is ornate and beautiful. And this is based on an actual paper cutout by Jackie's grandmother. So I'm gonna pour this guy into the glass, see how she looks. Again, as a wheat beer, this guy can contain a little bit of haziness, but you don't want too much, and we condition this guy forever, trying to get it nice and clear for you. But again, as a wheat beer, there's a little bit of turbidity going on there, and a ton of smoke character. That's what's so cool about a beer like this, is that it's super low alcohol, but it has a ton of smoky character. But it just goes away. It goes away with the taste. Smoky character comes in, sits on your palate, and then disappears, just waiting for that next sip. Wow, that tastes great. All right, and last but most certainly not least is one of my favorite beers of all time that we make. One of the beers that I think distinguishes us from many other breweries. Not only does it have a ton of beautiful Galaxy character, it's got a mix of American hops that we're super fond of, and it has our house yeast that we've spent years and years and years refining to make it a singular and interesting beverage. You know, oftentimes we focus on the flavor of the moment. You know, the Juice Project, Galaxy, 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 pushing more and more stuff, more and more hop character, more and more juiciness into beers as we progress. The important thing to remember is that on beers like Very Green, our core beers, we take everything that we learn from those trials and those experiments, and we just pour them back into our core beers, elevating that experience as time goes on. And for me, just knowing that Very Green is a beautiful, hazy, juicy, delicious option that we almost have all the time is something that I'm so proud of and so delighted to share with you guys. There's just pineapples blowing out of this can right now. Absolutely nuclear stuff. God, the flavor profile on this beer is immaculate. Ripe pineapples, earthy citrus. It has that like sharp bitterness at the end that just disappears off of your palate and says, please drink me again. And for us, the way that we think about Very Green is it's beautiful because it tastes just as good at the bottom of the glass as it does at the top. Yep. All right, guys, so that wraps up this current top 7 that we ran through. Again, this is the tip of the proverbial iceberg. I think last week alone we released at least 24 different beverages, half of which are brand new, either evolutionary or innovative, from the coffee program to the non-alcoholic program to the beer program and the spirits program. The team has never been as locked in as we are right now heading to the summer. Super proud to put these beverages in front of you guys. I hope you're enjoying these videos. Michael and I actually did record the homebrew taste test earlier this week, and so you guys should look out for that coming up. And if you're enjoying this content, it means a lot to us if you guys subscribe. It helps us build the channel and it helps us increase our reach, motivating us to make more videos. So check that out. Thank you guys for watching and drink well. Take care.